Hi, my friend. We are going to do something a little bit different today. If you remember, was it yesterday, maybe the day before, when I pointed to this bin of bags of miscellaneous blocks, orphan blocks, some of you call it. They're blocks that were test blocks or extras or mishaps or just never made it into anything. And I've been wanting to put them up on the wall. Just take one of the bags and just stick all the blocks up there just to see what's in there. I just find that so much fun. So we're going to do that together. But in order to get this cleared, I had to go and sew together. First I had to sew together the blocks for the garden path. I had to finish these ones that I had the wrong one, which is in one of those bags. And put those in those bags. Then I had to sew all the rows together. So I got the garden path, the 3 rows, because really I had to take the rows off the wall. So I'm like, I might as well just sew them rather than try to mark them in order or spend time figuring out the order later. So I sewed them together. There's the first 3 rows. And then I put a piece of paper at the top for what's the top of this. One of our friends told me when I was talking about my binding debacle, all those bindings that the extra bindings I'm not using, and the ones I remake. And she said, well, you should clip a note that says that the binding is in the drawer, which I used to do. I used to do that. I would clip a note, say the binding is in the drawer. But then I'm like, okay, all the binding should be in the drawer. Every single time I go to make binding, I should first look in the drawer. So I didn't put the notes anymore. And that works sometimes, and sometimes not. So that, for me, apparently this is not a good plan. Okay, but let's go on. We're going to move on. We're going to play around with these bags and take a look in here. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to open all the bags. I'm going to pick one of them, but I'll pull them out first. So when I put them together, I did make somewhat of a decision as to what's in here. Probably a little bit by coloration. I think this one actually may be a mixed bag of everything. Let me see if I can get this down there. Okay. I believe these have more red in it than any other color, so that would be fun to put up there. This one definitely is blue. This is the blue bag. But we just played with blue, with home is, so I'm not doing the blue one. Oh, maybe this is the red bag. Maybe I have 2 red bags. That would not be surprising. I think these are more fall colors, and it's a little bit smaller bag, so let's take one that's got a little bit more in it. And then I know this is these little stars. It's all the cut off triangles for these little stars that are all in the blue. So we're not doing that bag either, because that one, I know what that is. So we'll put those up there, and I will just move my chair. And now I have to pick one of these. One of them, I know this one has house blocks. I can see it here. Has house blocks from Will You Be My Neighbor? That's a free pattern that Moda did, and I have the patterns on my I Love to Make Quilts. Why don't we put that up? Because I think that this would be kind of fun to see what's in here. All right, it's a mystery. Now I'm on the back side here of my sewing machine, so I have no table surface. So we will use the chair because we quilters know how to get things done. So if I open this up, oh, look here. There's a whole, whoops, oh goodness. There's a whole stack of little tiny things. Oh my goodness, little. Let's just set them here. And then I've got some bigger blocks down here. What I'm going to do is pull the camera up to the wall, and we will just put some blocks on the wall and see what happens. Oh, there's the top of a tulip. That's from my seasonal quilts. And I have a cat. This is an extra cat block I did from my machine quilting book. There's another tulip top. So we've got a couple of tulip tops here. We'll just stick those together. This was a random block left that I didn't use from Cozy Things, I believe. And it's got sort of a little bit of warm colors to it. This one was from, I know, I can visualize the quilt, but I got a couple of blocks that I made for that one. So I sew along in 1999, and they just didn't make, they were like blocks that I made, and then I decided to use different fabrics and make them a little bit different for the project. Okay, here's one of the blocks from Will You Be My Neighbor? So that's a house block there. I want to sort of make a little room. So we've got a house block. What else? Oh, a pineapple block. I remember doing this one. We're testing out the pineapple papers, I think. So far, let's look at the colors. They're not bad. They look pretty good. I think I need to move these apart. Let's do them like this. We get the cat in the tulip bed. See, I knew that there was a couple of these house blocks. Here's Will You Be My Neighbor? Or this one actually might be, no, this one was from the Sew Sampler boxes. That's what those were from. When they did house blocks in the Sew Sampler, that's what those two house blocks are from a couple years ago. Here is blocks. Here's the two blocks that I did from Will You Be My Neighbor in these fabrics. I did them in totally different fabrics, Christmas fabrics, but I also made a couple of them like this. And I sewed them together. So what I have is, let me put that guy at the top just so that we can see him up here. Okay. Those are all the big blocks that are in this bag. They are really neat together. I like it. And I've got all these tiny blocks. There are some that are a bit bigger. What I would do would just be to stick them on here. Let's just see what we have going on. If they're not, there's a lot of half square triangles. So if they're not opened up, I'm not putting them up there. And I have a bunch of these blocks. I don't know why, but let's see. Let's put them, there's a group of them. So let's put them like this over here. They were probably an audition for a project. Oh, there's lots more, like pink and green. So they were obviously something I decided I wanted a different fabric for them. Okay. Oh, bunch more half square triangles. Let's see what we got. I got another one of these. So that's totally different fabric. That's aqua, but we'll leave them in there. I've got a little 4-patch with bunnies, and this was from I think this was from the childhood games. So I used that bunny fabric. We'll put him up here. I'm trying to find out what we got for bigger block. Lots of half square triangles left. Do I have any other? Oh, look at this. Look how cute. I was doing a test of a little shoe fly block with the cutoffs that came from something. So let's put him in here. So how I'm building this right now is how I mess around just to get everything up there. Visually you can see these need to be broken up a bit. Like I need something different there, just to break up that monotony of those 3 in a row. And I'll put them all up and then move them around afterwards, because if I was going to do all these into one quilt, I would need to figure out like about how wide and about how long do I want it to be, and then at that point I will fill in with strips or squares to get after I use all these pieces up. Look, here's a sample hexie that didn't get any further. And I have some more half square triangles. Like these two would be super cute, like as a flying geese. Put them together as a flying geese under there. It almost looks like the leaves from the tulip. And I have, well, I don't even know what this is. Apparently it's just scraps I sewed together. Okay, we'll just stick him up there. Finds a spot. So I have a lot. So the rest of this is all half square triangles. So I have a whole bunch of half square triangles, and what I would do is maybe like I just did with that flying geese, I might find pairs of them. Maybe they would be great for flying geese, or they might be great to put as like a little border. Like down here, let's say on this block, if I wanted a little sort of sawtooth border on the bottom of that. These are kind of pale, so I'm hoping you can see them. But there I could just run them all along the bottom. And if I have other colors, I could, now these colors are, these are different size. So let's run these along here. and get the aqua along the top. So, and then there's another aqua one. See, I'm actually almost have all of these done. So I could do 4 of them together, like a little square. Here we go, 4. Maybe I want to mix them correctly color-wise, because you know there's a correct way, right? Or you could flip them around. So there I'm doing like a square and a square and a square effect with that little guy. So you can scroll in. There we go. So he has 2 that are printed. If I wanted to move those around, I could also do something like this. I could take them and make that, and turn it into a square to work with if I wanted to do that. I like that better. So there are not a whole lot more. Let me just stick what I have up on the wall, and then we can take a look at what went on. So I've got a bunch of little ones here, so we'll just make a little string of them, because you know it starts to be by size, like what size do you have and what does it go with. There we go. Got those guys up there, and two more things. So I'll stick them way over here. This is a half square triangle that never got opened. Now at this point, I have plenty of blocks to do something. It's a little too wide right now. Like I would want to make it a little more narrow, like maybe take off this whole unit here, like all these blocks, and move them to the bottom, or just shift, maybe do a couple in here and a couple in there, and so that I get it a little bit longer. Because then what I could do is do squares or strips to get the blocks set into either big squares or rows. So you just build them out until they look like a row. Like here, if I started shuffling the blocks, I could shuffle them so that I could get a row across here. Like these would move down, and like the tulip could move down, or that tulip could move up, and it would become then a row right across. So that way this could all be built to the width that I want by adding other blocks or just strips, and I would know the width that I want. All right. That was fun. I wondered what my packaging, how I did with my packaging when I put them all in there. And then since then, if I've come up with something, I've shoved them in the bags. Like the other day with the garden path that I just showed you, I had these 2 that I made extra. And so I shoved them in the one bag. And I really don't know if that's the proper bag for it. Because they're not all blue, they don't go in the blue bag. And I didn't really do like an Americana bag, although I could look through these and do one that's like more like all red and blue, red, white, and blue blocks, you know, where there's very little other color. Very neat. Now I'm not going to work on this right now. I will take a picture, and then I will, think about maybe another day. Another day I will get them out and play with them, because it takes a little while. When you put them up there, it takes a little while to think through it. All right, my friend. If you enjoyed that, leave a comment below for me so I know. I would really love to hear what you thought about this, if you've ever done it, if you're interested in doing this kind of a thing, if you keep these random blocks and extra half square triangles and things that didn't work out. Let me know. I want to know all about it. And if you've ever done one, show me a picture over at my community page at Facebook, Quit Along with Pat Sloan. I love you. Mwah. Have a great day.